to today's episode. Today we're going to be looking at part 2 of the squat series, where we're looking over a little bit of squat form as well as some common faults that I see when people are squatting and kind of what you can do to get around certain aspects if you're limited in mobility. Like before, we've talked about you can use dumbbells, kettlebells, or even a box squat if you have certain things that you're not able to do. But first, let's jump in kind of what the squat is compared to other movements. So, the squat is a squat pattern. It is not a hinge pattern like a deadlift. So a lot of people, when they start to squat, they'll just hinge back and then try to go down. That's not typically what we're looking for. So a squat pattern is hips first, but it's just that slight unlock, and then we go down. The reason that kind of got overused when people said hips back, hips back, hips back, because a lot of people that were new to squatting, when they would squat, they would try to just bring their knees forward like that, and that's not what the squat was looking for in those scenarios. So people started using the cues hips back, and then it eventually went the other way, where a lot of people were just doing that movement. It's not necessarily bad, but when you're looking at a squat, trying to build the most power, good depth, and range of motion, that's not a squat pattern, that's a hinge pattern. So what you want is to unlock the hips first, and then drop down. So unlock the hips first, drop down. So that's what we're looking for in the squat. So that's the main difference between the two. Some things that you can look at if you're having difficulties. A lot of people, right, the dreaded butt wink, which is when your pelvis posteriorly rotates underneath you. So you're going here, and then it kind of rounds. That can be caused from a few different things. One of the most common ones that I've found is when people go to squat, their version of bracing, rather than just creating tension throughout the abdominals, is they'll arch their back. Once again, from old cues used way back in the days, keep your back straight, arch, arch, arch. So when you arch like that, your pelvis comes forward. As you go down, your pelvis can only go so far before it starts to run into your femur bone. And at that point, you'll rotate under if you're doing that. So make sure you're bracing in that neutral position before you start and then going down. You don't want to, your first movement shouldn't be that motion. Brace, hips go back with the body, and then down. That's probably one of the major things that I've seen that's a common fault. A few other things, more people new with squatting is coming down with the knees inside of your toes. Once again, that's more for new squatters. If you're doing something real heavy and at the bottom, they come in just a little bit and come back out, that's usually okay. It's usually just recruiting your adductors to help get you out of the position. And squatting like that's perfectly fine. I'll do that all the time, but it has a specific purpose in mind. If you're just squatting for strength and you're not trying to work on the other stuff, then that's not what you want to be looking for. So it all depends on your goals, guys. One of the other common things I see is just decreased ankle mobility that won't allow you to squat. While you're working on your ankle mobility to improve that position, some things you can do in the meantime are like a box squat, or if you want to, you can grab little plates, whatever kind of size you need, put them under the heels, and that'll give you kind of, or use lifting shoes, that'll kind of give you fake ankle dorsiflexion motion and allow you to have more motion. Like I mentioned in our previous video, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. If you don't have good ankle mobility, maybe doing a back squat versus a front squat would be more appropriate for you as well. One more thing I want to talk about is setup and kind of foot positioning. One of the big things that I like to assess people on when I'm looking at their squat is feet straight forward, feet about shoulder width, and then straight down. Just to look at their squat. That's not necessarily the best squat for everyone, but it's just to kind of look at it. They've kind of shown that the best squat obviously differs for everyone due to hip anatomy and everything like that. But toes slightly flared out, perfectly fine. Width can change from person to person. The key is just a few things. One, your heels should always stay on the ground. You shouldn't be coming up onto your heel, off your heels at all. Number two, that the knees always stay in line between like your second and fifth toe. So even if you're squatting wide like this, as long as your knees are coming out and staying over those toes, you're perfect. You just don't want to have your feet wide and then coming down like this. So anyone that says that only one foot position matters for a squat, probably not the best advice because everyone is different. We all have different bony anatomies. So what I like to do is maybe start in this position, then bring the toes out just a bit, do a squat, maybe add a little bit more, do a squat, maybe wider but feet together, and then wider toes out a little bit, and just see what feels the best for you. That's the best advice I can give for that aspect of it, is test a bunch of things out, see what works best for you, because no one is the same, and just because that person squats a certain way doesn't mean you should. So everyone's specific, guys. There's no cookie cutter way to do it. Give those tips a try, guys. Make sure you guys are videoing yourself if you need to kind of see what you're doing during a squat. Tune in next time, guys. We have our last part of the series. Going to be focusing on some accessory work, some strength, and some mobility to improve your squat. Make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll see you next time.